Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and I am here to talk about a new Steam feature that is right up my alley. It's these things that I get really excited for that create a better gaming experience, shopping experience, awareness of games coming out. That is something that every storefront needs to get right in today's climate and landscape of gaming. Just with a billion games coming out, keeping people aware of the games coming out is one of the biggest hurdles. And what's funny is Keeper is showcased in this image that they have. So we'll get to that. And Keeper is one of those games that I feel like Microsoft, at the publisher, absolutely failed their job at making people aware that it was a game coming out. From Double Fine Studios, a notable studio, nobody knew the game was coming out, peaked at 200 concurrent Steam players, which is insane. Maybe it went a little bit higher than that recently, but nevertheless, I'll get to that in a little bit since I think it's such a relevant talking point in regards to this. A new way to discover new and upcoming games, the Personal Calendar, a calendar of recent and upcoming releases full of personalized recommendations for you. And that aspect is so important as well. Recommending the right games to the right people, that those games are going to be relevant to them. There are so many games coming out on Steam. We can have the debate all day long on whether or not all of those games should be on Steam, but reality is they are on Steam, and if you start pulling games from Steam and limiting what games are going to be on Steam and not going to be on Steam, that is going to be a whole other discussion point and a topic that I'm sure will upset people. But if you are going to have hundreds and hundreds, thousands and thousands of games on Steam coming out every year, well, you best get the relevant games to the relevant people, because that is that is the focus on Steam. Not every game is going to be successful. We live in a world where there are so many games coming out and time is a finite resource. There is not enough time in the day. It don't matter if every single one of those games are good. Guess what? People just don't have enough time to play those damn games. So the reality is not every game is going to be successful. However, Steam, their job is to put every game in the best position possible to be successful. And the post continues. Today, we've launched a new store feature designed to help you find your next game. The new Steam Personalized Calendar is a look at both recently released and upcoming games, filtered down to the set of games we think you are most likely to be interested in. We're launching this feature as a Steam Labs experiment, as we'd like your feedback to help make the best possible version of this tool. Read on for more details, or just check out the Personal Calendar page and see for yourself. Recommendations based on your playtime. This new calendar finds people with similar playtime profiles to you and then looks at the games those players have been adding to their wish list based on the games you play a lot. The system is more focused on games that you play the most relative to other players and spend the most of your playtime in. So a few minutes trying out a couple of new games or demos won't have much an impact on your recommendations, but sinking a bunch of time into a new favorite will. I really don't know how I feel about that, because generally speaking, people have their live service games that they sink hours upon hours into, but a lot of the times, the games that you actually search for are sometimes the shorter experiences. Maybe the games you spent 10 hours in, 20 hours in, 30 hours in, and for a lot of people, that's a shorter experience, whereas the games that you spend a lot of time in, like, for example, Arc Raiders is going to come out, and there are going to be people that sink 100 hours into Arc Raiders in, like, a week or two. Maybe a week. A week, it would be a little crazy. All right, don't be putting 100 hours in Arc Raiders in a week, but that's a game a lot of people are going to sink a lot of time into. So if people sink a lot of time into that game, do they want all of their personalized recommendations to be extraction shooters? Probably not. They have their extraction shooters. Usually, they want games supplementary to that. So I do feel like that is one of the pitfalls of recommending games just based on what you play a lot, but this is going to be something that's refreshed daily. This recommendation system gets retrained daily to incorporate the latest data. In reality, you aren't likely to see your recommendations change all that much from day to day, but as time goes on, you will obviously see new things pop up as the 8-week horizon of the calendar marches forward, or as games lock in their release dates. Steam already has lists for upcoming releases, including popular, upcoming, and all upcoming. However, we've been drawn to the idea of having a visual representation of upcoming releases in calendar form to help you understand how far away an exciting new launch is. Love that, because this will give you more of, as they say, visual representation, because all you see in the upcoming section is this small image that really can't give you the essence of a game. I feel like at a calendar layout, that'll give you more of an idea of the essence of the game, and it comes down to the developers and the publishers to get get the right marketing out, but they have a image already up that is, a demo of the calendar, and it showcases games like Ball X Pit, Fellowship, Keeper, Illa, Jurassic World Dispatch, which that game is getting some Steam. Dispatch actually looks quite good, and you guys, the game will probably be out by the time you guys are watching this video. But speaking of games that are out, Keeper, Microsoft published game. Look, I know people are going to be like, people are playing it on Game Pass. Look, that game peaked at 200 concurrent players. It is 1/6 of the amount of concurrent players that South of the Midnight had, and I believe Keeper is $10 cheaper, and coming from a studio that's more well-known than Compulsion Games. It's coming from Double Fine. The fact that that game peaked at 200 players is a atrocity, and I've heard that the game is good. Where was any level of promotion for that game? Insanity. And I don't think that's a pitfall of Steam. I think that's a pitfall of Microsoft not promoting their games, and maybe it's a very, very zany idea for a video game. It's a little out there, but sometimes that's what people look for, and some of the most interesting and unique games deserve to get promoted, and that's a game Microsoft should have really gotten back on in terms of the promotion for that game, and I think they've just failed outright. I think Microsoft has failed in a lot of things, but the promotion of Keeper, I think, is one element that they've absolutely failed at. So this new calendar view takes the list of soon-to-release titles, filters them down to the set we recommend for most of you, and maps them out across time for you to see at a glance. You'll find that some days have a bunch of exciting releases for you, while others may only have one or none. Love how they're doing it with the games tailored for you. Includes your wish list. The calendar also views any games you already have added to your wish list, regardless of whether the system recommends it. You've already expressed interest in that game, and you'll likely want to know when it's coming out. I also think the recommendations should be tailored, and they should use your wish list as kind of a survey and data to study, and I'm sure they're looking at that. But weekdays only, we intentionally focus the calendar on weekdays since very few games release on weekends. Yeah, that makes sense, and we wanted as much space as possible to show the games that are planning on releasing. The rare games that do have weekend release dates will show up on the calendar on the following Monday. Recent releases, week and month views. For recent releases, we experimented with a few different views and found that it felt less important to map out already released games on a daily calendar view. When we were talking with our friends and colleagues about recent releases, it was usually in the context of something we were playing this week or this month rather than which specific day it came out on. But we'd love your feedback. For new releases, are you concerned about which day the game came out on, or is that just it is a recent release? Customization controls, there are options to tailor that game count. You could go from 10, 25, 50, 100, 250, or 500. Looking for something in particular, use the tag selector. By default, it lists out tags applied to games you've recently played, but you could also type in any valid store tag to narrow down your result. Adjust the number of results. While working on this page, we tried out a few different thresholds for the number of games to display. Too few results and the calendar is pretty empty. Too many and it can be an overwhelming experience. We settled on 100 as providing a good level of information density, but we're curious what you think. You can adjust the picker at the top of the page to see more or fewer titles as you increase the number of titles shown. The quality of fit for those recommendations will decrease, resulting in more games that are further from what you typically play. It already respects your preferences. The page already filters out games based on choices you've made in your store content preferences, such as early access titles, ignored products, ignored tags, and general level of mature content. They're looking for feedback as well. We're interested to know whatever feedback you might have about this experiment. Do you find this format of recommendations to be useful? What do you think about this new set of recommendations and calendar view? Hey, from my vantage point, I think this is a fantastic addition. I'm always on releases.com looking at upcoming game releases and SteamDB. That's usually generally how I figure out, what games are coming out, what's the interesting stuff, what are people looking forward to, etc., etc. But there's so much stuff coming out on Steam that Steam having something baked into their own platform. Again, getting the right games to the right people is one of the mysteries of gaming that I think every storefront is trying to figure out or should be trying to figure out, but ultimately it's a game that is going to be a lifelong endeavor as far as improving it, making it better and better. But the reality is there are too many games for anyone to play. Time is a finite resource, and that is the ultimate reality that every game has to fight against. But that'll do it for me. Love this addition to Steam. Another great addition. Right now, it's a Steam Labs experiment, but hopefully it'll be rolling out in the near future. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.